guys, welcome back. It's Brian from Ship the Garage. So today we're going to be working on the Cuda again. We have about 2 weeks out till Mopart's the Rock event. I went last year, it was an awesome time. Bringing the car back this year. Still a lot of work left to be done on this car, but today we're going to be doing a bunch of different little things that the car's needed. So one is new radiator. The radiator, I noticed when I parked, was leaking and it was coming from the actual bottom of the radiator out of the fins. So I put a quick stop leak in there and that kind of fixed it temporarily, but we got a new one in, so we're going to be switching that out. And then we're going to do our expensive arts and crafts for that front bumper mistake. We're going to run through that stuff today and get as much done as we can and just keep on chugging on this project. So let's... All right, guys, so we got the expensive mistake cut out. Nobody ever knows it's there. We could leave it like this, actually. We're not going to. So these fenders are fiberglass. So to fix them, I'm going to repair it with fiberglass. And if you haven't worked with fiberglass before or carbon, they seem more daunting on the surface than they really kind of are. It's called expensive arts and crafts because going through the process of doing it really kind of feels like an art project. So I have fiberglass, resin, hardener, a brush, and a scale to make sure I get the mixture right for the resin. And for this type of application, I'm just going to be cutting out the fiberglass to go past the hole a little bit all around on the inside of the fender. I've prepped it a little bit, and then we're going to apply the resin, let it harden, and then go in with the fiberglass Bondo that we have so get a good adherence, and then primer over it. So if you're working with anything in this type of application, you don't need anything crazy. I thought it was a huge process to get into fiberglass or carbon, but if you're the term of like skinning, if you're putting a carbon or fiberglass on the outside, it's actually way easier than I kind of thought it would be. Now, if you dive into getting crazy weight savings or ultra performance out of a piece that you're working with, that requires a little bit more, but still not as bad as you would think. So let me get the stuff cut up for this, and I'm gonna apply it and kind of show you a little bit of the process. All right, so got my fiberglass all cut up, and you can see this fiberglass is actually a weave. So you can get kind of strand fiberglass. I think that's kind of messy. This is nice because it's nice and rigid and strong, and it will hold that strength because it's weaved together. It's a fabric. And so this is cut up. This is going to get ready to go on. But first, we got to pour our epoxy. So I got this system, and when I got it, I went with a slow hardener because I wanted time in case I messed anything up or I needed to make any adjustments. That allowed me time to do that without being stuck with something the way it is and that's it, and ruin the whole prep work I just did. So I'm gonna weigh it up, pour it, and the cure time on this, it gets tacky decently quick, but the full cure time is about 24 hours. So I'm gonna put that on there and let it kind of stick, and then once it fully kind of hardens, I'm gonna go through and put the rest of the stuff on there. But let me get going with that. Got my fancy scale out here. You'll see this stuff is... And a big mistake I was doing at first when I first kind of used this was just wasting resin. So that's probably just plenty right there. see. All right, we're at 29 grams. We'll call it 30 grams. Tiny, tiny bit. And then we'll mix our hardener. And a lot of kind of things I thought I would need for this wasn't anything crazy, but I didn't think I would need like 500 popsicle sticks. I have so many popsicle sticks. They come really handy for molds and mixing, but I feel like I'm at a doctor's office with how many I have sitting here sometimes. So we're at 30. Let's go to add our hardener. All right. That's the hardener we need. Good old popsicle stick. And the reason you want to use plastic cups, or if you have metal, I'll show you once it's all said and done, but this creates a lot of heat, this process. So if you use paper cups or anything that is flammable, you very well might set fire. If you have this on a work desk or something, you might burn something down. And you wouldn't believe how hot it actually gets. So I was kind of surprised myself. You could burn yourself. So we use plastic cups. And it melts the cup. When it's fully hard, this will all shrink and be deformed and have this super hard. I can already feel it warming up now. All right. That's the hardener we need. Good old popsicle stick. And the reason you want to use plastic cups, or if you have metal, I'll show you once it's all said and done, but this creates a lot of heat, this process. So if you use paper cups or anything that is flammable, you very well might set fire. If you have this on a work desk or something, you might burn something down. And you wouldn't believe how hot it actually gets. So I was kind of surprised myself. You could burn yourself. So we use plastic cups. And it melts the cup. When it's fully hard, this will all shrink and be deformed and have this super hard. I can already feel it warming up now. So the next thing with this stuff is you want to make sure it gets super saturated into the material. So I can't record back here. It's gonna be like impossible to see. It's such a weird angle. But I'm gonna get this on there and just really super soak this to make sure it gets through all the weave of the fiberglass. And like I said, this is a slow cure time, so it's gonna take a while. But once it's all said and done, it's not gonna go anywhere. So let me get this on here. I'll update you when it's done. All right, thanks to Movie Magic, this is dry. Now let's confirm with my plastic cup to confirm that it is solid for continuing working on it. Because the last thing you want is to try to work on this and it's not completely solid and moves around and screws up everything. So now this is a nice solid backing for me to go ahead and put the filler in. Because otherwise, with no filler, just go inside the fender, make a huge mess, not be super strong, and it'd be annoying to deal with. So we got fiberglass Bondo right here, and maybe you could see it's a little bit different. It's got strands of fiberglass in there, so different consistency, and it's meant to work with fiberglass. So now I get to mix that up and put it on here, wait for that to dry, sand, prime, done. So we got our spreader, we got our hardener, we got our DiGiorno mixing table, state of the art, of course, nothing else here for Ship to Garage. So let me get to mixing that up, fill it, and then you'll see me continue on with this. All right, so got the fiberglass filler all done. And then to finish it off, I use a finishing putty, like this one's called icing. And it's a finer type of material, so it gets every little bit of nook and cranny, and just use the good old eyeball handball method to make sure that it's nice and flat. And last thing to do is primer it, which I'm about to do with the help of our coarse, handy dandy multi-purpose DiGiorno pizza box, making sure paint doesn't get anywhere it's not supposed to. So I'm gonna primer this up, and then we gotta do the radiator. So let me get to this quick. All right, so on to replacing the radiator. So this is the big old 440 in here. Obviously this engine bay needs to get cleaned up a bit. Working on it from time to time. Need to finish up the AC and redo some of the wiring here, but today it's getting this old radiator out. So this one started leaking from the bottom, and now we have the new one all ready to go in. So let me start taking this old one out, get this new one in here. Got the old one out. Now I got the new one here, ready to go in, all shiny. Personally, not a fan of chrome. This car has a ton of it, to be changed perhaps. But this is the same 26-inch that was in there before. A little bit different in terms of like size of cores and stuff. But this is gonna be more than enough to keep the motor cool, as was the old one. But if this one ever breaks, I went to a company called ACP. They have a lifetime warranty. You can call them up, get a new one, swap it out. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Don't want it to happen. So let me get this put in, fill it up, and it'll be good to go. All right, so new radiator's all in. All right guys, that's gonna be it for the day. So took care of some stuff that the Cuda needed, new radiator that was desperately needed, and fixed that terrible mistake I did on the Fender. So hopefully that was helpful in case you guys need any help with fiberglass work. Like I said, I'll be making a video in the future of me doing carbon fiber work and taking molds and making actual components on a different project, but that's coming in the future. So 2 weeks from now, on April 8th, I believe, is Mopar at the Rock. So that's gonna be at Rockingham Dragway, kind of here local to me. So if you guys are nearby, come check it out. But I'll be taking you guys along for that, and I'm super excited to go to that. Last year was an awesome time, and this year I expect nothing but great things. Also, happened to buy tickets to Hot Rod Drag Week. So we still have a lot to go on this car, but I'm hoping to get a nice chunk done to get this thing prepped. So just keep following me along for everything we're gonna be doing in this car. Get ready for Hot Rod Drag Week. I'm super excited to go. I've wanted to go for a while, and finally it's somewhere actually decently close to me. And I said, screw it, let's just do it. Let's make it happen. So thanks for checking out the video. Hopefully it helped. Stay along for other stuff that's been coming up in the future. Thanks for joining.